This is quite the story. So this just is hot off the presses. Moments ago, we learned that a gentleman down in Florida is being arrested for allegedly hacking into Fox. His name is Timothy Burke, and he was apparently some kind of media consultant. And he is allegedly in trouble for hacking and then leaking a whole series of these kind of unflattering videos of Tucker Carlson behind the scenes. You know, something that not everybody knows is that, hey, you know, we anchors, we have our downtime, and when there's a commercial, we let loose. And all I could say is, if that's the worst Tucker does, when he's totally letting loose, then hey, power to him, right? I mean, the videos weren't that terrible. I know that the left was making a lot out of them. I didn't think they were so crazy. I mean, he was joking around with a makeup artist. He said some comments on pronouns, etc. It wasn't as awful as one could have been, for sure. But it was weird because as soon as he was gone, they let him go, and then all this stuff started coming out. And so the question was, well, was Fox leaking this, or what was happening? And so now, allegedly, this guy hacked into the systems. But that seems a little bit out there. His attorney, and both sides here, both sides. And this is actually where it gets kind of bizarre and extraordinarily interesting, because his attorney is saying, no. These tapes were leaked to him. In other words, he had the right to run with these because he was a journalist, and somebody who was a source gave these to him. So if that's the case, then you got to ask, well, who the heck was the person that gave him the tapes? I'm going to quote here from the CNN article. The charges against Mr. Burke, who denied breaking the law through his lawyers, filed a Justice Department criminal hacking probe, which was opened last year after previously unaired videos from Carlson's former Fox News show surfaced online. In one aired clip posted by Vice in 2022, Kanye West was seen making some anti-Semitic remarks to Carlson the following year. Carlson was fired. And some people are saying maybe some of this behind the scenes footage may have contributed. It did so happen that there was this lefty site out there that posted these behind the scenes footage of Carlson making some not so great remarks, not very kosher remarks, joking with staff, and then, of course, denigrating the Fox Nation streaming service, which, by the way, you know, we'll hear him on that one, right? I'm just shocked. The grand jury indictment, it goes on to say, accused Burke and an unidentified second individual of using, quote, compromised credentials to gain unauthorized access to protected computers and then obtaining, quote, and stealing desired information. Listen, it is bizarre. The whole thing is just absolutely bizarre. That's all I can say. A lot more questions. Meanwhile, a board member over there at Fox who clearly does not seem to like Tucker very much. That would be Paul Ryan, big-time politician turned board member at Fox News. Paul Ryan went and did an interview with the Washington Post, same outlet, by the way, that broke that story, that broke the story about the Florida guy allegedly hacking and stealing this information. He went on with Washington Post, and he did this little interview in which he totally slams Tucker. And he, by the way, slams Trump, and he slams anyone who doesn't want to be all in terms of NATO, et cetera, right now. Anybody who's questioning it, right? You're not going to be in Paul Ryan's favor right about now. Watch.
What worries me more, and not just Tucker, that's a symptom of all this, is that they're curating sympathy in America. And they're helping nurture and develop an isolationist wing in my party and in our country, which I think is very, very dangerous. They're developing, people who want to see NATO reduced or NATO not adhered to. Obviously, former President Trump is pushing this line as well. So what I very much worry about is they're helping curate a line of thought, a school of thought that is isolationist, that is pro-Putin, pro-Russia, pro-tyranny at the end of the day. And that is extremely dangerous for all democracy, but for us as ourselves, democracy. And so what I see Tucker is just one little chapter in that story. I didn't watch that whole interview. I watched a little bit of it, but it just looked like a kind of an infomercial for Putin to be able to push his propaganda.
You know, even if it was, let's go with you for a second, Paul, who, by the way, is not a journalist. Don't you want to hear the propaganda? I mean, we got our own propaganda. You've got your propaganda. It's actually worth understanding where everybody's coming from, what they're actually spinning, using whatever you know to be true, and to try and get to the bottom of it. I mean, any decent journalist would tell you that. Any decent journalist. But, they're all freaking out because guess what? Somebody else got the interview, not them.